kids?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think they have, if it's above 44 degrees, they
Mhm.
send them home, or they call school off. But
Okay, just 3 degrees to go.
but cricket training gets called off above 38 degrees.
Oh.
Yes,
But
we are
Oh, that.
live,
they're
guys.
only,
We are live.
Whoa. All right.
Yes,
but
Pal, would you
they're,
like to
they're
do the
only,
intros
we are
or
live.
should I do it?
Whoa. We can start. So, welcome to our sixth episode of Unsophisticated Gentlemen, and today we have with us Mick Dwyer from Australia. So,
That's it? That's it? Okay,
that's
fine.
all.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
He's a comedian from Australia. He has performed in UK. He has half his career in UK, and his Instagram profile says he is a Guinness World Record holder. We will talk about it unless it's a joke. And finally, he's also an ultra marathon runner. He has recently moved from wait a second, Adelaide to Darwin, right?
Darwin.
that's
And
happening right now, boys. You got it.
it is about 3,000 kilometers. It is like moving from Delhi to Chennai and a few thousand kilometers more. I'm curious, Mick, are you going there by any vehicle, or are you just going to run it out?
What a great idea.
Yeah.
What a great avoid parenting responsibility. I, I like that suggestion, but knowing you're right, distance wise, it's straight up the middle of Australia,
Yes.
but so very to be. There's no plant life. Well, no plant life to speak of. It's where all the films shoot their Martian landscapes. Not, so look, I'd worry being abducted by UFOs, if anything.
Oh, Hollywood UFOs. So yeah.
By the way, I wanted to know how long have you been doing comedy? Like how long it's been?
Yeah, I'm going to show my age now, right?
Yeah.
I started in 1998, so nearly, what is that,
Oh.
20, crikey, that's longer. Wow, yeah, that's longer than Kapil Dev's cricket career.
Whoa. Yes. Yes.
There
Yes,
you
so
go.
because there are very few, because Indian comedy scene is a bit new, so I don't think there is any comic in India who's like 20 years old into the scene. Like,
Well,
is there anyone like Datta?
Nobody
um,
would. Even the scene itself is not 20 years old. So
Yeah.
you have 10 years over every one of us. So
well, I had a wonderful time. I played some shows in Mumbai at Habitat,
Mm-hmm.
oh,
and
nice.
everyone was so welcoming and so kind. So I'm and look, I couldn't believe how well the gigs went. To be honest,
Yeah.
um,
And
yeah, it was great.
So
and
there is a
here's the
comic
thing.
from Australia, some other comic as well who came to Delhi. And the thing is that Indian audience now knows that there is a beat to there is a rhythm to the stand-up, right? So
Yeah,
premise and the punch will come. So they were laughing at the punches just by thinking, like understanding the rhythm. So some of the jokes they got, but after a while they were just laughing because they knew that he's saying the punchline, and the comic was also like, you shouldn't have got that joke. How how are you getting that joke? You couldn't have. Yeah.
they picked rhythm just so technically, next time I arrive, I won't turn up as a comedian, and maybe I'll arrive as a conjurer. Just talk. But it's similar. I don't really have any punchlines anyway. I just have a strange looking head and a means of talking.
Come
That's my.
on. We've seen your videos, so uh,
Well, yeah, but look, punchlines are too risky these days. I've been saying that, so I think it pays more just to try and be funny rather than,
Hmm.
well, punchlines help, but people are often getting offended these days, or yeah, it's all
Yeah.
like I've described it on. efficiently. Punchline is like going all in with your chips and hoping that, it lands or it doesn't offend, or that, you know you're heard over someone else's getting a Snapchat in the front row. All these hurdles, but
Right.
nothing's better than live.
It is. This is a perspective that I haven't heard before. In fact, you get into the comedy writing, learning how to write punchlines, and it takes almost a decade to get over them.
We are
So,
very fixated on the punchline thing in India. Yeah, that
Yeah,
happens.
well, look, I'm glad to hear it, because we need punchlines, but yeah, I was watching. Cash Up sent me one of his reels that he's editing for feedback, and the first bit of feedback I have is, "Dude, can you slow down with the punchlines? You're putting me to shame." He so it goes bang, 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 and it's great. It's yeah. Whereas I tend to tell long stories, pull silly faces, misdirect the audience.
Hmm.
I because I'm guess that I'm an old fart now. I think, how can I play with the art form? How can I have more fun with nuance? Misleading. Um, all of these just sound like an excuse for not writing a punchline.
I need to ask you. You started comedy in 1998. That's uh,
Yeah,
we are not going to talk about the age here. We are talking about how do the motivations to get into comedy change, and what were you looking for to crack jokes on or find the funny in earlier, compared to now? What are you finding funny in now?
yeah, great question. So back in 1998, we didn't have, other
Yeah,
than
great
vinyl,
question. So back in
or maybe some
1998,
CDs. You didn't have
we
a
didn't
big
have,
comedy
yeah,
library.
other than
If you're a
vinyl.
comedy fan, you really had to put the work in. Maybe your uncle or a friend of a friend brought vinyl back from the UK, or the States, for example. But we didn't have streaming. We didn't have podcasts
Hmm.
back then. So you'd go and watch your live stuff and fall in love with the art form that way. And now I've seen it. I've seen people go. It's a career. So I noticed, in the early noughties, into until day dot where we are now, it's a lot of artists are more career driven. It's like, okay, I need to tick all these boxes to to assess things at not at the expense of the art form, but there's other disciplines that uh, involve the artist. Yeah, but back in the day, and all it was a great safe place for misfits and scoundrels and freaks,
Yeah.
Yes.
freaks, queer, all the place, the halfway house for the socially inept.
Oh,
And
yes.
that still exists, but it's one of the most open and you know supportive communities I've ever had the pleasure of being involved in.
Mm, right,
And
actually,
yeah.
because I was also thinking about this today only, like today means in the last night, that comedy was for misfits at a time. Like I was watching you as well, being a character, and like doing all those things, and doing self-deprecating humor as well, right? Self-depreciating humor. But nowadays, like there are comics who just come and they want to look more dominant, and like even in the American comics,
Yeah,
yeah, they want to be acceptable. They want to be the leader of the society,
mm,
philosophers or something. They are like in some other state of mind. So comedy has. I was watching your video only, the one you recorded in, I think, Britain only, the with the red background on YouTube.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so I was watching
yes,
that video and I was like, okay, there was this time when people were doing comedy and how it has changed a lot. these days. Like nowadays, no one would take a video on just one camera, like angle, and post it online. Like and they would have a whole
Totally.
product.
You need cutaways, 2 or 3 different angles.
Vidya, is voice
Yeah.
breaking like
Um,
just to me or like for you also?
No, no, for both of us. I was
Okay.
wondering the same thing. Mick, we might ask you to repeat a few things. And could you repeat the last answer?
yeah, sure.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
no problem.
Yeah.
So
Don't say sir and
it's
all because that gives a really like whoa, the old British were with the white people vibe, like, oh, okay, sir. Yeah.
yeah, you don't call me. I'm a piece of shit from the desert, boys. I'm I'm from I'm I'm from the gut. Oh mate, you you wait, you get me over there, and it's you'll see. I'm one of the boys.
yeah. Oh, yes.
So yeah, look, what the art form, people, it's is I think it's more career driven now because
Yes.
it is. It's a viable career. But what you're saying there, and the art form has blossomed in range. I think you
Mm.
can be whoever you want to be. You're an inflated version of yourself. A downplayed version of yourself. You can use it as an escape. But you're right. Before saying people are presenting high status and not. Whereas I'm a fool. I'm a clown. I love all the old school clowns, and I will always lose for my audience benefit. I will throw
Yeah.
myself under the bus, my family, my friends and their family, my I
Uh,
any anything for not cheap laughs, but anything for the win. And the win is primarily for my audience. I will lose. I will lose in every story. I will even pretend I lost
oh,
in the
yeah.
story for a better outcome. But
So
but often my stuff
these
is
cheap
serious.
laugh things, like after 20 years, does it totally get eradicated from your set or like it's still there?
I think it's funny because it's a guilty pleasure. Like if
Okay.
I know, okay, that bit there, it's a hack. It's a hack line. It's a hack premise. But it's like I need to overcome that. And remember, I'm gifting the audience with whatever they need to have a good night out. So, but
Yes.
sometimes I'll say, and a part of my soul goes, just shut it. But that's my role. My role is, uh, you to bring it for my audience or the audience. More often than not, it's not my audience, and that's what I love about being a
Yes.
guest in
Mm.
different cities, in clubs. Or the other day, I was invited to help someone celebrate their 40th birthday, and
Whoa, yeah.
what an absolute nightmare to on, on paper. Because if you invited me to someone's 40th as a guest, I'd still be anxious, going, I don't know any of these people. I hope they're kind. But I was invited as an entertainer. So I had, and as I got in there, I've gone, this is a really strange job. I have, as in my career, sometimes I catch myself out going, how the hell are you in some strange person's backyard? It's a 40th birthday, and all I was given by this fellow's wife gave me some intel on him, but I went the cultural angle. I found out his last name. He's first generation, of course, Australian's Australian, but his people were Calabrian, so they were mafioso, or
Oh,
that's the angle.
oh, 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 lovely.
I'm like, okay, what's going to fly in here? I go, okay, so I, I can call myself the white fella. I can call myself the, well, here's the thing: the Italian community in Australia when I went to high school, I'm sixth generation Australian, Michael Patrick Dwyer. So that's Irish Catholic. I went to a Catholic school, and so did all the Italians. So, but the Italians would call us as white Australians, doggers,
Oh.
Wow.
dogger. So they call us a dogger, and here's the background on that is because we ate out of cans.
Oh.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
and so fresh is king. In an Italian family, your mama, she always make a fresh food. She cook the fresh, and that's love. So the high school taunt was the Italians would say to me, Michael, "Hey Dwyer, did your mum defrost your dinner last night?" And that was the abuse. So, and what was the other line? How do you know an Australian? How do you know an Australian boy's dinner's ready? The microwave goes ding. All this horrible stuff from high school then became my ammunition at this 40th party on the weekend. But I was terrified. I was like, hang on, I'm in someone else's house, someone else's gathering, and they don't know a comedian is about to come on. All they know is this guy with the strange haircut and suit is walking into someone's yard. It was terrifying, but intoxicating.
It must be. I mean, I'm getting some amount of anxiety hearing about this because
Oh, rightly so.
already Italians are pretty tough guys, and cracking tough guys is difficult. You don't know what kind of humor they don't like humor to be soft. At the same time, if you do something that offends them, you are in danger.
Yeah, like that
I'm
old scene from Goodfellas, na? The Joey Pesci is doing this. Like there's a scene na, from
yeah,
Goodfellas
I know,
where,
I know what
uh,
exactly what you're talking about, and
yeah,
they want to
Funny.
fuck with you.
Do I make you laugh? What?
yeah,
What? No. What's funny? Tell me what's funny. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
exactly.
I'm like, well, hopefully all of it, you fuckers. That's what you got to give. But yeah, but there's children running around, and I'm like, okay. And I said to him, do you mind if I swear? And they've gone, mate. We swear in front of them all the time. I'm like, okay. Don't worry about the children. Then I worry about Nonna and Nonno. So I've gone, what about the grandparents? And he's gone, don't worry about them. So I think my opening line, I thought, okay. And again, it's like a punchline. Like we're saying, you're going all in. Hopefully it works. So I thought I'll say this. I've gone, all right. So half 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 of you are here tonight. All I'm worried about is who's in the city dealing drugs this evening. And it was a calculated risk, but it got them. But then it was like, okay, pepper them and then get off. That was and make sure and once you get your cash and you're in the car, mission successful.
My goodness. Also, one more thing. One more thing. You were talking about they don't know that they are going to get a stand-up comedian there. They just have a strange. They have a strange person with a strange haircut in their backyard. Um,
Yeah.
we've seen your previous videos, and you indeed you have a different haircut, and whether we like it or not, hair becomes a part of our persona. Was this abrupt change in your hairstyle any way planned part in your comedy career, or what is the story behind your mohawk, basically?
Yeah, good question. Because often, right now, I'm halfway between. So I need to make this will go back to the skin, and
Mhm.
this fellow will go kind of electric blue for my upcoming season. Originally, look at this. This
Yeah.
here, look at that, gentlemen. That is
Yeah.
an unfortunate recension. That is like the Australian economy right there. And
Yeah,
this is how Mo is dealing with your farmers. Just like that,
yeah.
slowly putting undue pressure. So during COVID, I thought, why not? No one's here to judge into the under the cover of darkness and no shows. I get the haircut I always wanted. And then I thought, well, okay, I can stick with it, because if obviously it's hard to do the school pickup or go watch my son play cricket or my daughter playing netball when I look like a thug. People make a decision about you immediately. They've gone, okay, that guy is whatever, it could be a punk, a weirdo, all these things you have to work against,
Right, been
which
there.
I don't mind. All of this. So, but then it becomes, I think, well, what I hope, it becomes an asset this coming season, because I'm doing a show, and I will say that word off the top, be it LP, reminding them that what they're about to sit through is in fact a show, because it's done by an idiot. I'm a clown. Don't take me seriously for the next 50 minutes. I look at what you wouldn't trust the guy. Why are you taking my political stance, my views on the economy? These are all in jest. So I will look towards looking more like a clown. But socially, it can be hard just to bring up with the mohawk. Especially, what I've noticed, if I'm hosting a show and I'm the first artist in front of the community, the audience that night, I've got to be gentle, because if I try and kick the doors in or rev them up, they're like you know. And so sometimes, if I've had my hair freshly prepared, I come in too hard, because I've got to I've got to kind of just offer myself up. Or sometimes it works, especially in New Zealand. New Zealand's an amazing country. They great people, have a much better relationship with their First Nations people than us Australians. So when I turn up looking like this, sounding like this, I often say, "G'day, New Zealand. I know I look like one. I know I sound like one, but I'm not one." And then they go, "What do you mean? Australian?" I've gone, "No, a racist." And then they're funny people. They go, "Yeah, mate, that's the same thing."
Wow.
So great relationship with the Kiwis, but it's sometimes I do need to address the elephant in the room, or the rat stapled to my head. Some people think I can just peel it off. Sometimes handy too. Yeah.
This is happening with me as well now, actually. Like recently, so I only do dark jokes. So the thing is, I used to only wear black to the shows before, like a few years before. But and people actually used to think that I do all those things. If I talk about murder, they were thinking like, he must be some like creepy guy or something. So recently, I started wearing very colorful things like shirts, and even got a crochet hat I now got made. I will just show you. So I'm doing all those things. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's great, because it's a bit of misdirection, or
Yeah.
giving yourself that first opportunity.
Plus, they also think
what did
if
I
I
say?
look colorful, they are like they are more tolerant to the dark joke then, because they just think, hi, he's a joker. He's come here to make us laugh.
Yeah, completely. It's like, all right, it's just softening. It's helping you just be perceived as more accessible.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, if anything, you could double down with the darkness.
Exactly.
Oh yes.
Bastards.
First of all, when I saw your video, and then I saw your hair like this, it was almost like maybe he's coming out like Ellen.
Oh. That.
I identify purely as a punk comic. I think I say to a lot of my mates, when we talk shop, I think my favorite thing I like to say is there's this art form and I reiterate, it is an art form, because there's no boundaries other than you know, warm
Mm-hmm.
intent and kindness. That would be my recommendation. You know, if there's no real boundaries as long as
Right.
you can you're kind with the audience, or you're not punching down, or you're not homophobic, racist, bigoted,
Mm-hmm.
misogynistic. All of those. But having said that, all of those topics can be handled well by the artist, but then it all comes down, in my opinion, to the intent, because you could
Mm-hmm.
be trolling for the sake of it, a lot of stuff tongue in cheek, and that's what I'm hoping the audience recognizes. They're looking at an idiot. I'm presenting myself as an idiot, presenting some awful views on purpose,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully they can. Okay, it's a clown. Uh, he's being purposely provocative, um, but at the same time, audiences are renowned for taking oh, you literally as well.
Oh yes.
So
Yeah.
and and then I don't know how it is in India at the moment, because what I did find is, because it's such a new and exciting art form, the audience are just super grateful.
Hmm.
So maybe you're still in this utopia where people aren't turning up hoping to be offended
Wait,
and
wait, wait, wait. Yeah. You are saying this in the middle of a raging
Yeah.
controversy over jokes, and let's get into
oh,
that.
what's no, not my India, surely not. What are, what are you fighting over, guys?
So,
So,
hmm.
use
Because Datta,
audiences
repeat.
might
You
seem
were not
grateful
audible. You were not
because
audible.
when you, I'm not audible even now.
Can you repeat? Repeat. Abhi, now
Yes,
you are.
yes.
Now you are.
No harm done. I was not saying anything important either. Yeah. So, currently, we are in the middle of a raging controversy, and in the controversy, there's a show that is inspired by Kill Tony, and
Ah,
what happens in that is they have combined Kill Tony with uh, X country has got talent. People come show their talent and get roasted by the uh, uh, panel of
Panel
comics
of
there.
comic, panel of comics and
Uh,
influencers.
Yes, and one of the influencers uh, copied a joke from an Australian comedy show. I believe it was earlier Yamad. Now they are, I think so. They have a different name, and it was a "Would you rather" question to the contestant,
ah,
and the "Would you rather" question was, "Would you rather watch your parents have sex all of your life, or step in and have sex and end it once and for all?" And the problem in India is, and not problem in India. The problem with that thing is, India does not have would you rather questions. Uh,
Yeah.
you're probably genuinely going, okay, this is okay. Let's take this seriously. Even better.
yes, exactly. And now everyone's
Why
on
would
the
they
run.
present with any other option? Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
And
It it
now it has
it
become a huge thing. It's like they are filing FIRs against the panel, like everyone on the panel. They came to the venue producer who, like, they came to Habitat. Now all shows at Habitat are cancelled for next, I think, 3 or 4 weeks. And there was a like big press conference outside Habitat today. And the politicians were saying we will not allow any shows to happen here. Stand-up comedy is vulgar. It's ruining our society. How they how
What
yeah how
you know what that tells me? That tells me that your politicians' parents must be ugly.
yes, yes, yes. Uh, There's no
Is
respect
it?
in that.
I'm so because it is. It's
Yeah.
the would you rather an exercise on the lesser of two evils, right? That's
Yeah.
I pointed out to you guys. But if you're saying it's a new kind of concept for an Indian audience, I think that's hysterical. But it's strange. Let's talk about that concept because Kill Tony does amazing things. As far as box office goes and as far as getting views and reels. And I've worked with Tony before and I've got lots of friends that go to Austin like it's Mecca. Well, I'll get cancelled for saying that. But you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it is a pilgrimage and the bastards line up for days to maybe much like X Factor or whatever other
Right.
combination it is there. But what I don't like, and what leaves me with a kind of a bad taste in my mouth about is how the panelists comment. It's mean spirited. That's why we tune in. I think we want to see someone roasted. We want to see someone, ridiculed. And
Yes.
this goes. And look, you guys had it. You guys, I think it peaked in India with how can she slap?
Yeah. You have watched that video?
That's
Okay.
the peak, boy. That's that was for me. That was the peak. So you then trying to replicate that, and I think the show's doing great in India. Am I right? But so this is why there's so much
Yeah,
controversy.
yeah, yeah. It's
Yes,
doing
let me
really
just
great.
put that into figures.
Yeah.
So that show is has been there for about 14 weeks. That's just 3 months, and
Yep.
every week it averaged about 25 to 30 million views.
Oh,
And not just that, they had moved up from just putting it on YouTube. They had started their own OTT platform and was giving serious competition to Netflix, Amazon, and all other streaming platforms. It was consistently the most downloaded app just from one show.
fantastic.
And here's the first conspiracy theory that comes up, that this was not an organically risen complaint. It was a targeted hit to remove the competitors of the big streamers, or that's what I'm calling for
Mm-mm.
them for now. Uh,
Big OTTs, yeah. Or
Big OTT, yeah, because Netflix and Amazon are pouring billions of
yeah.
uh, capital
Yeah.
into making all the content, and people are still sharing passwords and everything. So that it's not easy for them to just make profit here. And at the same time, here comes a show with minimal amount of investment. Minimal. They just need a table, a
Yeah.
mic,
You're right.
and a few people. That's it. And they are raking in money, hands over fist. So
Plus,
it
also
is.
most of the I think the OTT platforms they are these days using Chat GPTs to write their script. So they are like we are investing so much in Chat GPT, and now they are just cracking jokes and like roasting each other. So I think they must be off it.
It's great the independents having a win because I think so I like that aspect of it. I like the fact that
Hmm.
they're giving the big streamers a run for their money, and of
Yes.
course they'll be looking for any reason to try and control that because you can't. When that's what I love about many things I love about India, but when something goes viral in India,
Hmm.
um, it's life,
Yeah,
right?
right.
It
You
is.
saying you're getting 30 million that globally great numbers,
Hmm.
but that's still very niche for
Hmm.
India.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
you know what I mean? It's like we're a specific pocket of the community that like comedy. I think, but here's the thing. Let's be clear. I think maybe these people like seeing people get roasted more than the art form.
Right,
Yes.
right, right.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
so
So you were
that's where
right
I'm like,
about the Kill Tony thing, that that when their mean-spirited comment. So that thing was here as well, just like Kill Tony, a bit more only because in Kill Tony at least there were more comics on the panel, but here we had more influencers on the panel, and they don't know comedy,
yeah.
and they don't know where to
And
stop.
it's like,
Yeah.
who the fuck are you?
Exactly.
I'm
It's
not. I understand if I'm not on one of the serials. I'm not
Hmm.
much of a dancer, but you can't talk about my joke structure, or perhaps maybe they felt affronted because those influencers probably have very good looking parents,
Yeah.
and maybe it's a direct quandary for them. Oh, this is a great controversy, and but let's look at it. It's a great that's a good turning point in India,
Hmm.
I think, because of the same people trying to shut down Habitat or where it's happening. It just goes to show that there's attention and money to be
Hmm.
made, and that interest. There's no such thing as bad publicity. So
Right.
Balraj and the team, they're on a winner there,
Hmm.
and they do amazing things there in. Am I right? Is it Car West? They're
Yeah, Khar West,
in
you're right.
Mumbai.
Yeah.
fantastic.
Hmm.
Oh,
Well, what a great look, that journey. I took the journey. I stayed in Colaba and
Yeah.
got the
Train.
there. Holy shit! That was a mind blower, man.
Right.
So I can't wait to go back. But this is exciting. So there's no such thing as bad publicity. Hopefully, um, yeah. I hope. But yeah, I can. Good. But who's
Hmm.
um that you guys just and welcome to the whole would you rather world. It helps.
Yeah.
It actually helps our uh, whereas your politicians right now are freaking out
Hmm.
about it. That's how a lot of our politicians make policy in Australia. Would you rather a homeless crisis or not paying tax? So this is exciting stuff. I love a bit of drama. How would you? Let me ask you guys a question.
Hmm.
Would you make the Mumbai to go on this show? And
Can you
if
repeat? Can
not,
you repeat?
what
uh,
Your voice break.
would you? Would you make the journey to Mumbai and put yourself on this show as an artist?
uh,
No.
Rahul, would you like to go first or should I go first?
You can go first. My answer is
Uh,
long.
so, so personally, I've like at this stage in my career, I wouldn't go, not because of career. It's that I am still learning how to write jokes and come up with jokes in the smaller time frames that stand-up comedy demands. And I
Yes.
want to be in a position where if they have a mean-spirited comment on me, I have something crafty to give it back. At this point in time, I don't have that. So what that means is even if whatever they say makes me famous, I still wouldn't be in control of
Hmm.
the fame that is there, and
Yeah.
that is I would rather I mean nobody's control of the fame and everything. It is beyond our control, but at least I would
Uh,
like to uh, if I ever get famous,
Hmm.
I would rather it be for my skill rather than some accidental comment by someone else.
Right.
that's a great perspective, man. Because you're right. You're in peril of the edit, and and it is. It's let's also not taking anything away from Kill Tony or
Hmm.
what's this show called?
Latent.
India
India's
is
got
called.
India's got
latent.
latent.
They just turned India's got talent into India's got latent, and it makes no sense, but that's what it is.
Right, but it's working, right? So
Yeah.
it's technically, it could be argued it's not a stand-up comedy show, it's an entertainment show
Yeah.
where people
Yes.
grow.
Yeah, because
So you're not really,
they have the talents like you now the contestants there they can do anything. They can sing, they can like it's not just like
ah,
Kill Tony. Yeah, they have changed the format a bit. So it's not just open micers who are coming there. It's all kind of people like
great.
rappers.
That's great. Maybe a crazy uncle
Yeah,
trying to,
yeah.
okay,
hmm
but, but yeah, it's not the, you're right. As a stand-up though, there's so much to lose. You know what
Right.
I mean? Because there's so many variables anyway on a good night.
hmm
And that's when, when you say, mm, just say the room's perfectly set, we still might fuck it up,
Yes.
Exactly.
and then we haven't factored the panel, or how their day's been, maybe, especially if the panel has influencers thinking, how do I get clout
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
I'm going to be really unkind to this person, even if it doesn't fit the context of the joke or what they put out there. Yeah, I had a similar kind of quandary when I was breaking into the scene in London.
hmm
The Comedy Store, kind of like the gig you want to get on, and there's a massive waiting list to get a 10-minute, and then you do your 10-minute well, you get a paid 20, and I got there in the end, which was worth the wait. The shortcut to that is to go on the Gong Show. Now,
Oh.
the Gong Show, you can join the dots there. You get a 3-minute kind of window to do your thing. But again, how do you
hmm
wrap up what at that stage 15 years of a career into a 3-minute advert in an environment where someone could gong you off?
hmm
Too risky.
Yeah, it's too
You know
risky.
what I mean? And like, so I'll wait. Yeah, I think we'll do.
Yeah.
What,
Gong
what
still
about
feels a little benign.
hmm
you?
Gong, that is, if you joke, uh, Gong show, there was a variation of it in Mumbai as well. And
Yep.
at the time, it seems like Gong show is more suited towards the one-liner comics who can deliver 15 laughs in 3 minutes. It isn't?
hmm
Okay.
So like it was completely different in when it happened in Delhi.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't ideal for one-liner
No,
comics,
no,
is it?
not at
Okay.
all. Like they booed me off the stage immediately.
But that could be because of our jokes. I'm saying just the format itself is much more merciful towards kinder towards one-liner comics who
hmm
can deliver let's say 30 to 40 one-liners in that interval. Whereas compared to a storytelling person who might have a very big laugh, but
Yeah,
if it happens at 3 minute 30 seconds, then he is on the losing side there.
yeah.
So
Oh,
uh,
it's not the best forum to be discovered, but at the same time, because the world's such a viral place, if something was to pop up,
hmm
hmm,
um, next minute you're a hero, and again you can lean on, you can, technically there's no losing if you got have that mindset,
hmm
but
yes,
it's like any publicity is bad
Yeah,
any publicity is good publicity, even if it is bad, detrimental, and they're ridiculing you,
right,
and
right.
then it gets shit. Let's enjoy uh, this American from New York and what she did to Pakistan. You got,
oh,
wow.
No, no,
Did
no,
you
no, no.
see this lady? Oh,
Can you
right.
repeat like who's this?
So there's an
I
American.
lady.
She's on to met her internet lover, a 19-year-old Pakistani
Oh
boy.
yeah, I think
oh
I
yeah,
Uh,
did.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
you know what? I was watching it so carefully because I've gone, she will go viral like that.
hmm
The fact that she, and and better people, if we were all better people, we would be like, lady has mental health issues.
Right.
She because you repeat herself, and we all both know 100k US isn't going to change the streets of Lahore.
Right,
It
right.
Yeah.
probably
It,
it, it's not gonna. She goes, I'm going to fix Pakistan. It's like you're gonna need more than 100k, lady.
Yeah.
But here we are. We're watching this lady possibly unravel, or is she that savvy? Going, if I just lean on it, if I go maximum
Mm-hmm.
crazy, if I if I just keep hammering down this, you know what? She'll probably get 100k of advertising revenue or notoriety. She'll probably, and so the world can work like that. But in the end, like we're saying, is that how you want to be remembered, or is that how you want to be? If is that how you want to break into the limelight?
Mm-hmm.
You
Right.
yes.
know?
So for my answer would be, so basically this show also happened in Delhi, the Gong Show, right?
Yep.
And the thing what happened is normally audience never has the power to decide what the comic will say, right? So suddenly after
Yeah.
2 or 3 acts, so starting they were like listening very quietly, patiently, and then whenever they don't like, then only they would raise the gong. Sorry, then like they had these red cards, they would raise the red card, and if you get the
Yeah.
3 red cards, they will hit the gong. So, but after 2 acts and 3 acts, the audience got the hang of the power, and slowly they were like, oh, yeah, we are the one who are deciding, and then they just started like red flag first, the next comic, like we had like 30
The blood
comics. Yeah, yeah,
fight,
they would
flag.
just go like this for every comic, and it stopped being a comedy show after a while, and we saw like at least 30, 31 comics come up stage. Like before they were only planning like they planned it for 20 comics, and suddenly the producers are calling everyone in the city, please, if you're free, come to here.
We, we need
we,
body.
need, we need
We
more. Yeah.
have we have a gong problem. Man, yeah, the audience there, they get a
Yeah.
whiff of blood in the air.
So one thing happened. So
Yes.
there
They
was
get
a comic who's Dalit. Like so he came up on stage and he was making jokes about him being a Dalit, lower caste. And the audience showed him
Untouched.
red card because they thought he was making fun of the untouchables. And heard them talking after the show. I don't like jokes about caste and all. Huh? I don't believe in that. And I was like, man, that guy was from that caste you were talking about. He was just making fun of himself.
see, yeah, you don't have time to establish yourself in this environment,
Yeah,
right?
Yes,
So
yes.
it's not. Is it the right forum? It's great entertainment. Don't get me
hmm
wrong.
it is actually.
I, I'll watch it, and it's the same reason we all slow down to look at that ambulance, right?
Yeah.
That's
Right.
why you've got many reasons why the traffic's shit in India, but that might be that might be one. We're all slowing down to look at the ambulance. Um, but yeah, it's that human nature. It's like, oh, I'm
Mm.
glad that's not.
Right,
Yes.
right, right.
There's
So I wanted to go
um,
on latent, by the way, like because I always like the friendly like banter, like so I started doing comedy in Bombay and then I moved to Delhi, and Delhi there is a thing like if someone tanks and he goes to the green room, then everyone would make jokes on him, and they were like,
great,
yeah, there's this culture here
great,
in Delhi. So I love that
right?
culture, and for that I wanted to go on, like I really wanted to go on Kill Tony actually because it has more of a open mic vibe, and there's always this thing when you kill at an open mic and no one is expecting you to kill. So I wanted to do like experience that, especially in front of the white crowd. So there like there is a dream that I wanted to like try there, but I could go on latent as well, and would have loved to now do the banter with the guest. I can also like make fun of them. That would be like for the fun sake of it. But nowadays like that there's a like shift of the audience really wants to see you like uh, do weird stuff, like even with Kill Tony as well.
Yeah,
Most of their comics, like we were talking about this with the Vinayak Pal, like he's lives in Boston, like our second guest on this podcast, and he was telling us like there are now comics who just want to be weird so that they can get into Kill Tony, and they just want to get the fame and then go off. And yeah, so now it has changed, but earlier I did want to like go on to the show and perform.
Yeah, what a weird world. Let's say agree that could work, right? I found an angle. I go
Mm-hmm.
on. I blow up overnight. I'm a viral sensation. Then okay, here you go. Here's a 1 week season, a 1 hour time slot. It's sold out.
Yeah.
Half of these people are undercooked,
Mm-hmm.
not ready. Are they
Like,
ready for that kind
yeah,
of
like DJ Hans.
DJ Hans?
Yeah, yeah, he was also like opener, a regular for Kill Tony. So like he was like everyone liked him a lot at first. He was selling out, but after like 1 year of being regular, now he has taken a break to write more material because because he started tanking a lot. They had to come up with 1 minute of material every week, but they were not able to do so many open mics. They were still learning, so they slowly it
Well,
faded. Like a lot, this is happening with a lot of Kill Tony comics. Like they are like really great at first. Like that the black guy who's good at roast. I don't remember the name. Uh, Datta, do you know? Like
No, I
yeah,
don't. I don't
yeah.
follow
Joe
Kill Tony.
Rogan really like pushed him a lot as the one of the best roasters of like US scene. But then he got heavily roasted by a very veteran comic on Kill Tony only, and his whole image tarnished after that, and like he hasn't been able to recover from that now.
oh man, it's that fascinating. The gladiatorial thing we're drawn to. So
Mm,
if
right.
I hear that you've gone on there, if you want to go on there, and it works and it suits you, how good would it feel to get back at one of the influencers? Because you're a stand-up comedian.
Mm-hmm.
They'll say something trying to think that they're bettering you, but you're
Yeah.
you're a stand-up lays at the back. That's a lot. We're all tuning in to see someone win
Mm-hmm.
or someone be the. So it's definitely watchable stuff. But personally, I think there's a lot of variables, a lot of things, a lot of risks. And don't get me wrong, I love a combative audience. I
Mm-hmm.
love my late show. I'm resting it this year simply because it needs a rest. But for years, my late show, the Fat Cave, was renowned for coming test the comedians.
Okay.
Um, and I said to my comedians, um, please come on and play. Don't come and do your. Don't come and promote yourself and try and sell tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Come and play. I'll set up. I'll create a vibe where you can come and play and express yourself. Man, I'd love to do this in India. I'd love to, show the audience that it is a live event.
Mm-hmm.
You can get, you don't laugh in the build up, sure, heckle in the build up, disagree.
Mm.
I I love it when an audience you hear that laugh when it's partly a groan as well as a laugh.
Right.
Yeah.
Because everyone has different tastes. So yeah, I love a bit of heckling. I love
Mm-hmm.
the live kind of element of the art form. Uh, but as far as that being captured and then the re-edit, it's that how do you control it? And they've got their phones out. Soon as something happens,
Yeah.
or start. So I was lucky early in my career, especially when I'm 13 years sober. Um, but and I'm glad because camera phones have only got really good in the last 13 years. Before that, it was a free for all.
Yeah.
Some of the
Right.
stuff I away with, because it couldn't be captured. It was live. It was in the room, and you had to be there. But now stuff can be filmed. It can be presented out, cancelled, or whatever that means. But at the same
Mm-hmm.
time,
Mick, so is there a like
people are using this.
Is someone using like can you ask other people in your house to like stop using internet for a while because your voice like or is just you at your home? I think it's just you only. You have moved.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah, it's just me. I've got back.
yeah, man, you should
Is it
move to
is
India
it
for better
lagging?
connect. You should move to India for better connection.
Dude, the connection in Australia is awful. You know how I knew it was awful?
Mhm.
When I was in Kolkata, there was a dude living under a bridge watching Marvel Endgame on his phone. Perfect. I can't even I can't I can't even sleep in my lounge room. There's a guy in Howrah with better connectivity than me.
Oh my goodness.
By the way, Kashyap was asking in chat, what are the toughest challenges you have faced in your stand-up journey? How did you deal with them? This is a question for you from the room.
Yeah, way too
Man,
broad, but yeah, continue.
well, look, the toughest challenge is just trying to, yeah, remaining,
Mm,
to still be not just relevant. Um, and look, this is the big question for me now is the big challenge is right now. It's like, okay, as I've seen ticket numbers um, kind of dwindle
mm-hmm,
purely
Yeah.
because of factors. There's never before been more choice.
mm-hmm,
Um, my marketing needs to work in a better digital capacity. All of that stuff that I've let slip. So
mm-hmm.
this year, like, okay, I need to up all these other plants that need watering as well as just being funny. So
Right.
that right now is the biggest challenge. And I said to my friend yesterday, it's like, okay, how am I going to break through again? And it's like, well, you just need to put the work in and do a bloody good show again instead
Mm,
of in the last few years, I've just been turning up and playing the audience in front of me. The difference, and sure, they can go away and say, "Oh yeah, how does word of mouth work if it wasn't something solid?" So we need to give people something solid to walk away from. In the face of now, um, everyone being so divisive at the moment, and
Yes.
so maybe that's the challenge, and that's what I'm looking at right now. Going, all
mm,
right, how can I divide the audience? How can I purposefully upset people, but keep winking in one eye to let them know that I know? Um, so yeah, the biggest challenge is now. It's not that it's do or die, but it's okay. Am I going to kick on and be um, a leader in my field, or am I going to just fall along the ranks and just keep churning out stuff?
Ah,
So,
right. This is
by the
actually
way,
a very big challenge these days for all the artists, I feel, not just comedians, musicians as
mm,
well. They because there was a time like in India as well, there are houses like who had a like big line of artists in their like families. They used to call gharanas. So they were mostly na, they were mostly dedicated to the live art form, and then they never went like digital. And just after lockdown, when everything got digital, they, yeah, exactly,
sorry, boys, you missed the new. There's a new bus and you're not on it.
exactly.
Yeah, but again, but yeah, it was a
Mm,
cleansing factor there. It's like, are you keeping up in all facets?
right.
So that's and much like and previous to COVID, the last kind of real cleanse I saw on a scene circuit was the global financial crisis. Really meant those clubs in the UK when I was based there. The Thursday night clubs closed.
Mm,
The headliners had to look further for their work, and just yeah, as supply dried up, the people who were perhaps breaking out in that era never kicked on because, the old dogs still needed
Mm-hmm.
feeding. They would take, they'd take a pay cut just to stay in the game. So many different facets. I hope you guys, you've got a younger comedy scene there in India. I hope that your club wages keep increasing because the club wages through the US, the UK, and Australia have stayed the same for 20 years.
Wow.
Wow. I
Nah.
doubt there are anything as club wages at all in
Yeah,
India.
yeah, it's not there. Not at all. Like I was
Maybe,
running a room in Delhi, so I tried my best to pay every comic for their spot, and I couldn't sustain the room for more than a year. Like I had this room place for 2 years. So earlier we used to have free open mics where the comic doesn't have to pay or bring any audience with it. We were
yeah,
taking care of the audience, and then we started paying them the comics. But then after a while, because other the market is really bad if you're the only one who's paying, because you think that you are doing a good work for the comics, right? But what is happening is that the comics want stage time and they don't care about being paid at
yeah,
yeah. So after a while now they were doing the same shows here and there. So people started going to places where the tickets were a bit cheaper because they were not paying, and the room got we didn't have any audience only after a while, so we had to
and
close it.
I feel for you, bro. Yeah, and there's that. It's such a yeah, and then you want the stage time as well, but all of a sudden you've put your producer hat on in order to make more stage time, and I've been in I put that hat on as well. Um, yeah, it's
Hmm.
tricky. So how does everyone get a drink? How do you how do you keep it exciting for the audience? And
Right.
how do you keep yourself fed?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah, Manik told me once. Manik Mana is a comic from India, if you know him. So he once told me that being a comedy producer is the most thankless job in the world.
It,
and
it,
then
it-
and you run the risk of falling out of love with
Yeah, the art as
the
well.
thing you got in. You go, this bastard fucking comedy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. There are times when some comic will come and the sound was not that good, and you would be like, "Fuckers, I have done all these things,
Yeah,
yeah, just to do this thing, and now you are complaining about
I'm
this."
sorry. I was busy putting the chairs out.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the chair guy. And the chair guy turned up because he was getting material ready for his set.
This happens with comedy producers. We have to be one team. Like we can't have a
One
team
man.
most
Yeah.
of the times. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have to do all the things
Uh-huh.
by ourselves only. So.
Uh,
Totally.
by the way, I must appreciate
Hmm.
Mick's awareness of things in India, and he gets all the references and he
Yeah,
adds his own.
right.
And turns out there's an interesting background to that. He grew up among Malayalis. How
Oh.
did that happen, Mick?
Your face, huh? Um, I think all the films I would have seen, all the Tamil films growing up, the Malayali films. So my best friend from 1987, he was also a groomsman in my wedding. Robin Vuggy, his father come out as a chemist in the late 70s. So it's quite a large. Well, it wasn't large by modern comparison, but yeah, there was a big Malayali community here in South Australia, and just simply because Robbie was my best friend, I get invited to all the picnics, and early on, and it was great because they'd always see, all right, let's see if the white boy can handle spice, and so uh, and so yeah, from early on, I had a fondness for India. India would be my second cricket team.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
That's why it
sometimes
feels harder to lose from Australia. Yeah, but continue.
yeah, it makes it easier when we play you guys as well, especially if Rishabh Pant is off on another one again. Yeah, I love my cricket. I love yeah. So for my 40th birthday, my wife wished me well and said, please go and have that holiday that you've always wanted to. So I'd never had been to India. I'd planned for many years. I messed up. I was in London and I was at Heathrow and I'm in the line to fly to Mumbai. And what I'd done is I was only going to come with a backpack. In my backpack, I had 3 changes of socks, 2
Oh.
changes of underpants, and 12 tennis balls because I wanted to come and that's what I wanted to do.
You
right?
wanted to? You wanted
But
to?
I wanted to play gully cricket.
Okay.
Whoa, awesome, man. This
Uh,
is so good.
I'm quite a handy cricketer, but I didn't know that you don't play with tennis balls in India. They look like tennis balls,
Yeah.
but they have a bloody hard inner.
Yeah, right.
Oh, and I never got to handle that ball before I was batting because everyone's so kind. They see a guy with a nose like this and ears like this, and everyone's like, Ricky Ponting. Oh, Ricky. Like, but you think most white boys look the same, so I'm batting, right? And then this tennis ball hits me on the inner thigh, and I realize that's not a tennis, man. That's a bruising bastard spear. So, man, so my 40th birthday, I came. So yeah, that was just before COVID. I came, did Mumbai, Goa, Kolkata, Varanasi, Delhi, Kochi, and home.
Even went to
So I
Varanasi
packed
as
a
well.
lot.
Fuck. You have been to more places in India than me.
Yes.
Shame. But but I'm proud, and it was I loved it, man. It was the most amazing trip. But I'm coming back as soon as possible.
And how long was it? Like, how long did you stay here in India?
17 nights.
17 nights. Oh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, packed. I ran a marathon in Goa. I went to the first ever pink ball test, the first day-night test match in Kolkata at Eden Gardens.
This time, if you will come, let's plan a show in Goa. So I know a rock band there. They are exactly like I call them Indian Led Zeppelin because they are exactly like that. They get
Right.
naked on the like while performing. They get stripped. They strip during their show, and it's
Me.
like yeah.
It's meant to be. It's meant.
Yeah, they are called Western Express Highway. So they were calling me like come to Goa and we will do a show together. And like yeah,
Fantastic.
if you come like we can also do like three of us.
Mate,
Yeah, it will be great.
I'd love that. Anywhere and anywhere. I couldn't believe the page to stage payoff. The stuff I wrote that day, and the night I did it at Habitat, it was the material crushed, and I'm like, if only I could have that kind of strike rate on turning stuff over everywhere else. So it just goes to show how grateful and engaged Indian comedy audiences are.
Right.
Because of course, my audience, my Indian audience, speaks better English than me, and also are up for enjoying comedy, and also the whole fish out of water stuff. Me. I think I described my journey from Colaba to what's the train station that services the Northern Line, Car West. So I took a train.
Yeah, you to the wrong train, right? The central line, the other line. Yeah, you went to the
So
Thane and all.
so getting there, so the bus from my hotel to the train station.
Okay.
I said to the audience, I'm from Adelaide, South Australia, a city of 1.3 million people. That's how many people I went past on the bus to get the train to come to this show. And simple stuff like that. People who appreciate, they've gone, you know what? And it was probably true. But I had so much fun. I had so much fun in India, and I only got sick once.
That's great. That's great,
You
actually. Yeah, just
and
once.
you, I mean, it just shows how much
And
acclimatized to
were you
India he
eating
was in
and
Australia.
were you eating at hybrid when you got sick? Just kidding.
You know what got me? It was a stadium samosa.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Eh,
Kolkata.
What,
bastards! I know now.
you know,
And
you got
I, I said I know that it's a mistake now. In hindsight, of course.
yeah.
So my best friend, uh, Adelaide, he's from Pune.
hmm
Um,
Oh.
so the whole time I was in India, Jatin Sabawal, my buddy, he was texting me on WhatsApp every day. He's telling me he's going, and he he refers to me as bastard. He goes, bastard, you need to go here. You need. So it's like I had, it's like I had a mobile tour operator in my pocket. So I went to so many places I wouldn't have gone because I had a mate telling me, try this place, try that place.
Mm.
Can't wait to come back.
So,
Awesome.
so this stream reminded me of my old days when I used to like wake up in the morning to watch India versus Australia test matches. Like it used
Yes.
to get like because all of the like it's very relatable to all of Indian people because we all
Mhm.
used to get up really early, like at 5 or 4, and then and I, like was like one of my favorite moments was when Virender Sehwag scored 195 in first day only. Like there was a match with Australia, like in first day he scored 195. So I woke up in the morning like at 5 or 6 and I saw him and like I was so lazy because you just woke up and like you are still a bit dreamy like in dreams and I really used to and you were watching Virender Sehwag just totally kill Australian bowlers at that time. So any of your favorite cricket moments from Indian versus Australia matches, like if you can say that.
Yeah, I just love the modern battle. The fact that your king, Mr. Kohli, uh, he's phenomenal. What a great athlete. What a great cricket mind. But also, I love how modern he is. He's not afraid to be the villain.
hmm
Okay. And the newspapers here just, wanted that conflict. So I love the fact that he doesn't back down.
Right.
I also, I love the fact that he, I think there was a tweet, like he fires back tweets, and he knows he can bring it on the field. So it's like, okay, I will,
hmm
I'll let my bat do the talking. But knowing that it's such a head match, um, so I like the fact that a lot of Australian fans don't like him, which I think's
Yeah.
lazy. I think you're getting caught up in hype. You
Yeah,
need
but
to
it's just like
understand that a part of the game.
how many Indians didn't like Ricky Ponting at a time, but later on they started appreciating him more because I think it will happen with Virat Kohli as well later on. Like,
Oh, totally. And Ponting was a hard taskmaster
yeah.
captain. He'd give no inch, and he would see an opportunity and he'd go for the kill. Um, but I've been enjoying Indian cricket since Kapil Dev. Um, so, in 1992, I saw Kapil Dev make a quick fire 47 against
Holy
South
shit.
Africa at
Holy shit.
take 4 the same day.
Oh.
And that's when, but and that's after he'd been a captain. He'd already had an amazing career. I think it was Muhammad Azharuddin was the captain.
Oh, okay.
Um, am I right? I think you boys are too young, but
No, no, no.
But you are right.
I'm
You are right.
36, so I know what you're
okay.
talking about.
So Azruddin, he not have an amazing collection of casual shoes?
Right,
Yes,
right. He
he
did.
had. He had even more amazing collection of watches. All of that match fixing money has to come for, has to count for something.
Good. That's great. I've been saying I like this joke. And depends. You can try it. I can try it on some Indian dudes like it, some don't. And I'll say I don't remember how it goes. I've gone. Just say it's the first test. I'd say, and it's day one of the first test. And I say to my Indian friends, "Oh, congratulations, guys! I heard you won this one." And they go, "What do you mean?" I've gone, "Oh, I've got a bookmaker in Pakistan that tells me you guys win this match." And, and
Oh
that
man.
depends if not. But yeah, I I love watching the IPL as well.
Hmm.
Oh,
I
In
love
fact,
watching the Big
got,
Bash League a lot, actually.
Big Bash is great because I like I said, I play decent level
Hmm.
cricket here in
Hmm.
Australia, but now
yeah.
I'm the only reason I'm welcome at my cricket club is they get me to do a comedy show every year for. I'm very welcome there, but not as an athlete. I come in more there for ceremonial purposes.
You know, a lot of our friends and I also was planning to shift to Australia and start doing spin bowling because you guys don't have any good spin bowlers. So
We
we were
don't.
like,
What the hell? They got Shane Warne.
not right now, not right. Like after
Not
Shane
right,
won,
not right now. Okay,
after
fine.
Shane won, after Shane won, after Shane won, after
But
Shane won.
but hang on, it's because he's not flamboyant. But you look at the stats.
Nathan,
Nathan
man. Yeah.
Lyons also go down and be remembered as one of the great spin bowlers
Mm-hmm.
in history. But much like say Jacques Callis,
Yeah.
not overly flamboyant.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I I don't want this getting back to Nathan Lyon and finding I'm not trying to say he's not exciting, but no Shane Warne as
But I
far
think
as
even Nathan Lyon will agree that he's not flamboyant. Like his whole
and
action.
there's can only be one Shane Warne.
Yeah. Yeah.
But please, what do you bowl? You bowl off spin, leg spin.
So I love Brad Hogg. So I now bowl Google. It's called googly, like where
Yeah,
Yeah,
you have
but it's leg spin, right?
yeah, it's
On
leg
the
spin,
whole.
but I like and then vary it with the googly, right? So I used to do bowl leg spin and then na yeah,
so
you know.
you're telling me you're going to come from India and make a place in the Australian team with two variations.
Oh, no, no, so I can.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I was
Holy
just.
shit. No, bullshit. Bullshit. So, yeah.
Look, come straight in. You can play. You can play in the South Australian 11 until we get the paperwork sorted.
Or I doubt, man. They would see your leg spin and deport you immediately. Anyways.
As long as it bounces more than twice, we will forgive you.
Okay.
It's on a really good length.
But
But damn.
but the thing is when Nathan Lyon was bowling very like in his prime, so at that time there were not many Indian batsmen who were really good at playing spin, right? Because like if you heard Saurav Ganguly and Sachin Tendulkar talk about finger spinners, they were like they are the easiest to play because you know how to like where the ball will go, and they used to like nah, like there was no good finger spinner when like in the scene when they were nah, Dravid, Sachin and Lara was there, right? At that
Yeah,
time.
Oh,
it's funny. We should then look back on their legacy and go, well, no, we don't count it because you weren't up against decent opposition.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
We should be called the legacy department. It's our job to go and rebuke anyone that may have been seen as a champion.
So we have already streamed for like more than 1 hour now.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you have to be anywhere? Like, because I wanted to ask one more question before we end
Sure,
this.
please. Yeah, I'm having a great
Okay,
time. You
Datta, you were
guys,
saying something?
no, please.
Let's plug his show first.
Hmm.
It is Big Mick Energy, if I'm not wrong, and of course it's a play on the Big Energy. And now I'm curious. You have two children, and how do you handle profanity? Uh, I mean,
Yeah, good question. Look, like I say to my 8-year-old, he fucking loves it. Seriously. We because my wife right now is heading to Darwin. I'm doing the entire month with both children, and so my son will be my ride along. He'll come and see a lot of shows. He'll see a lot of guest spots. So he's seen the language before. He knows it serves a function. He knows that we don't use swear words to build a sentence. We use it to spice up meaning, perhaps. So hopefully that's implanted in him. And I say to him, look, I don't mind you practicing these words with me, but if I find out you do them at school, we can't go enjoy the shows at the festival like we promised. So
Wow.
I'm sure he says them to his mates, but as long as he does sport and as long as he doesn't, as long as he isn't using them like commas, like
ah,
I see
yeah,
a lot of Australian, a lot of Australian bushmen, they'll, instead of going or they'll go, now tell
yes.
me, fuck it, fuck me. I don't I didn't grow up to use them that way. Um, my daughter, again, because it's so commonplace and we haven't guarded our language around them. It isn't that forbidden fruit. But he is a terror. My son is. It's going to be it's going to be fun to see how he evolves over the next month through being exposed to different styles and varying levels of profanity.
Uh, and how was the profanity while you were growing up? I'm curious. Now, for me, profanity was again a forbidden fruit, and over time, I started preferring craft over profanity. And
Mm.
now it has completely vanished. It only comes off stage and in very specific moments. Did you have any conservative upbringing, or was profanity always all right in your house?
Yeah, so when I was 7, my father bought a hotel. Um, yeah, so I've grown up in hospitality. So, and this hotel was on an army base.
Whoa.
Oh.
So I saw a lot of stuff before I was 8. And again, because it was, yeah, but then knowing that there was a time and place to use words, and um, but again, for me, I heard all the swear words from my older cousins, and it was like, oh, just seeing how they were used then as words to barb and words to hurt. I thought, okay, they're useful. So in the right setting, like if my son tripped over and used an expletive to explain how, dare I say it, how fucked the scenario was, I'd be proud of him. But again, I just wouldn't want him swearing in front of an uncle, for example. Yeah. So when I grew up, it was thick and fast, but also knowing, we knew that you have to pick your audience.
Right.
So I guess your son will learn that as well pretty soon.
So I wanted
Oh
to
yeah.
ask about like how did you get into this like getting like into running and all this like now where did like what is it called like I forgot
Ultra
ultra
marathon.
marathon, right? How did you get into that?
accent too. When you boys roll the R's, ultra marathon.
Yeah.
Sounds tougher. So yeah, running being a transportable sport in the nature of my work, I couldn't commit to my cricket club anymore. I play decent level cricket, but yeah, I'm always in a different city, so I couldn't commit for a city. Like for example, I knew that every year I'd be in Edinburgh from late July into early September. So I could commit to a cricket team at the Edinburgh Festival and play for my club then. But when I'm touring everywhere else, I could only ever, fill in every now and then. So running became a great option. And yeah, pair of shoes is all you really need, and a hat if you're my shade always helps with this your head. So yeah, and then human nature prevailed. It's like, okay, more. Okay, I want to run further. Being a parent, it's the only guaranteed way you'll be by yourself for 4 hours.
Yeah, I was
Running.
about to say that.
People are like, this guy just keeps running. What's key? How does he go for so long? It's like, well, what keeps him away for so long? It's like that's the hard. Yeah, it's a great sport. And during COVID, I retrained as a personal trainer. So I got my personal training certificate to supplement the family income, and I've kept that aside. So along going. So
Yeah,
I
this is a
train
really
people.
nice thing about like foreign countries that you can do a course about like personal training, the things like this. In India, if you want to be a personal trainer, just take a bit of like steroid and go to gym, and then you are qualified to become a personal trainer. Like I don't
I've
think there are any
oh,
courses
man,
here that we do.
dude, I've seen how you guys train your soldiers. I've seen, man. I saw the Indian Army arrive at base camp, yeah, there in the Himalaya, and
Uh-huh.
I've also with alongside the Indian Army just by the Madan there in Kolkata when
Oh
they were on
wow.
a training exercise. Um, so yeah, you guys are proper.
Huh.
When yeah,
Like Indian
there's
army
some
guys are really proper, right?
Army guys are
Army
proper.
guys are proper. Like they know they are very well trained actually. We are just talking about the local people. Like, uh-huh.
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
at any point another skirmish with iron bars with the Chinese up there in the Himalaya.
Yes, yes. Dude, this is such a deep cut reference. Damn.
Exactly.
Uh, by the way, I need to
Oh, it's
mention,
that
I might have to hop.
mind.
hmm You might
I
have
need to
to.
hop off after 10 minutes. Just
Okay,
saying.
we can
Yeah,
just
sure.
like it's already 1.5 hour now, so we can close here actually.
Wow.
Yeah. We should do it more. Like I really want to know about like I wish we could like talk more, but so
Yes.
we
Do
can
a
just send here any other topic that you want to talk about, Datta or Mick Dwyer, like if you want to say anything before we
Uh,
leave.
Yeah, man. I'd happily revisit and come on as a guest anytime, fellas. This has been great fun.
before
Uh-huh.
we do, before we say our goodbyes, I just want to appreciate the healthy lifestyle that Mick Dwyer
Yeah.
is maintaining. He would be the healthiest comic in India if he were
If
here. I, I mean, there are a few marathon runners here, but on the whole, the lifestyle of comics is terrible. Uh, I believe all of us will die before our 60s, and if we don't do something if we don't do something like you have been doing, and have you always been this healthy, or at least health conscious?
Look, played a lot of sport in college, but then soon as I became a comedian, because of the late night, the free drink, the late night
Yeah,
eating, and then of course
Hmm.
sleeping all through the day,
yeah.
uh, it kind of lent. I put on maybe 20 kilos the first year out of high school,
You're right.
which was funny because when I turned up at cricket training, my coach said, he looked at me, he's gone, you want pads, right? So, but now, yeah, 13 years sober, and I've just realised when you get a good night's sleep, you wake up early, how much spare time I have as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'd be insulting if I didn't look after myself.
So
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is very nice like thing for like advice for other comics as well. If you're a comic and you have these things, late night shows and free food. So how do you get healthy like a healthy lifestyle? How can it be for a comic?
Mm.
Like how can he become healthy? More.
Well, think about approach it like an act. Let's we need to be the in the room. 8:30 to 10 p.m. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Right.
so everyone else is either drunk or tired. We need to be sharper than them, more alert. So a great excuse to have a siesta. A great, not do anything in the afternoon. But it is, I think it is our responsibility to rest in the afternoon, to be on
Mm-hmm.
point of an evening. Um, and then, yeah, and in doing so, uh, I'd be completely sober or the right level of drunk on stage if
Mm-hmm.
you so choose. So you still have a responsibility. But some artists, I know when I was drinking, it'd give me that extra, 2-3 inches of confidence.
Right. Right.
Uh, I was, you know, but now being present is better for me. Having,
Mm-hmm.
having the facilities to go. Okay, I'm here. I'm in control. Has been my true asset of
Mm-hmm.
recent years.
Awesome.
Okay. So when did
Awesome.
you when do you sleep then and when do you wake up, do the workout? Like it's in the like you sleep late but you wake up early, right?
Yeah, it's weird. No, I have to wake up early now because of the kids and
Mm-hmm.
because of my PT client. So I'll I'll get up super early to get the training out of the way, and then free myself up to do the gigs in the evening. But to maintain, I'm on this stupid running streak at the moment. I'm
Mm-hmm.
853 days consecutive running.
Oh, wow.
I Thank you, boys. I maintain like a minimum of 1 mile, but often the average is 30 to 40 kilometers a week. So to keep this run streak, I have to go, right, how do I plan my day? Some nights I'll finish my show
Mm-hmm.
and I'll go for a run.
Awesome.
Yeah, I
And
thought
it's
I knew that you'd be doing that.
so, and that's great because it's a great way
Mm-hmm.
to kind of, unpack everything. You go for a run. The weather's cooler. The streets are less packed. If you can trust the surface, I'm listening to some good music. Yeah, just a real good way to escape and whether you go for a run during the day, I find my brain does all the filing, so
Mm-hmm.
everything's organized. I get into a good headspace. Yeah,
Yes, it is.
versus bloody cricket. You wait 2 weeks to fuck up one. You get bowled, and then the rest that you've ruined a whole month because you didn't get behind one. Awful. But I love. But again, like comedy, I'm like a fat kid licking a 9-volt battery. Just can't can't help. Yeah, cricket is such a cruel.
It is, it is. All right, on this note,
Yeah.
I'll have to take a leave,
So we
and
will
it
also
was
like close the stream only. So let's
all.
yeah. So thanks to all the viewers. Like there were 4 people who were watching this stream conference.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
four.
yeah.
record audio.
Yeah.
And
All
thanks Mick
right.
for giving us the time. We hoping to see you again soon. And please do recommend us that US comic. I'll text you. Like do
Done.
yeah, okay.
However I can help, fellas, be
And
my pleasure.
thanks.
Good guys in New Zealand.
Yeah, yeah.
Pardon, pardon. Yes.
Pardon.
You're
I
saying
got some
something.
good guys. I got some New Zealand comics for you as well.
Great, great, great. That would be
Awesome.
great. That would be
Awesome.
great as well, actually.
Thank you. You have been so kind, Mick.
So there's an
Love
island
to have you
between
here.
Australia and New Zealand, Nauru or something it's called. Uh, there's an island
It's
between
no,
now,
there isn't. Oh,
no,
Tasmania, but yeah,
yeah, Tasmania.
no,
Yeah, no comics from
no.
there. Okay, cool.
All
We'll
right.
we'll find them.
Yeah. Sure, sure. I would like find someone from there actually. So okay, cool. That was all, and goodbye everyone. Bye bye. Thank you. Chalo,
All
bye.
right, let's call it a day. Take care.